Hi everyone, thank you for tuning back into my channel, and for our new viewers, welcome. Today we're going to go over the upcoming Gods token for Gods Unchained game, or it's an NFT game. Now, for those who don't know what Gods Unchained is, go to my playlist. I have a whole playlist on Gods Unchained. Watch the videos, and it will give you an idea of what Gods Unchained is. It's a free-to-play card game, which, by the way, is very engaging. I am not a big games person. Well, haven't been in the past couple of years, other than the pandemic duration. I played a lot of Destiny. But other than that, I'm not a big games person, but this is pretty engaging, the game itself. And given that the play to earn games are pretty much blowing up, look at Axie Infinity, right? So I thought we would do a quick video on God's token. So God's token is the native token, native ECR20 token for God's Unchained game, or the game verse, or the game land, whatever you want to call it. That means it's on Ethereum blockchain. It's an ECR20 token. So if we go down, this is their page for the Gods token, a glimpse of the gods, or glimpse of gods. So this is the page where you can go through and actually read about their token. We're going to go through through this video and wait until the end. I will tell you what I think about comparison between the Gods token and the AXS token, or the Axie Infinity token, and the two universes themselves. So let's go over their website here. Just keep in mind, they are not even done with the white paper yet. They're in the process of writing the white paper. So we don't know anything about the tokenomics yet, other than how many tokens there will be and a little bit about how they will be distributed. So you have to wait until all of that comes out, read the white paper before you get too excited and start jumping into it. And whenever the token comes out for sale, I will definitely do a video when the white paper comes out. But until then, this is what we got. There is a website or page dedicated to it. So Gods is the native ECR20 token of the Gods Unchained universe, designed to sit at the center of Gods Unchained play to earn functionality. We have laid the foundations for and iterated upon play to earn along the Gods Unchained journey, but as we saw with Flux, Fusing, and Forge, speed bumps arose when obstacles such as fees became an issue. So right now their Forge is inactive, and if you go to Forge or Fuse cards, it will tell you that it's unavailable for now until the gas prices come down. The gas prices will not come down until Ethereum 2.0 is live. Sorry. And that's supposed to happen by the end of the year or beginning of next year. We don't know yet. It's probably gonna get pushed back a little further because everything in blockchain gets pushed. But they are partnering with Immutable X. I have videos on Immutable X as well. Actually, I do not have a Gods Unchained playlist. I have an Immutable X playlist. So you have to go to Immutable X IMX playlist to learn about Gods Unchained. Sorry about that. So basically, they're gonna partner with Immutable X, and their NFTs, which are the cards, playing cards, will be on Immutable X, and the gas prices will come down because it's a layer 2 solution like Polygon or Arbitrum or Optimism or Cartesi, if you will. So the prices will eventually come down and the forge will be open up. So how does the gods contribute to play to earn? It creates multiple new avenues for players to experience play to earn, providing reward streams that are scalable and adaptable as the game and its community continue to grow. So I'm assuming what's going to happen is right now, if you play a game and you win a game, you get what they call flux. And this flux is something you need to fuse cards to get them to mint them on Immutable X so you can sell them. So I have a suspicion that this flux will actually become the God's token, and they will just get rid of flux completely, and you will have to spend God's token to fuse these cards. Now, will that be true or correct? I don't know. But if you play the game now and gather all this flux, right? maybe all your fluxes will convert to God's token when they come up with the token, because they have to do something with it. If they get rid of the flux, they cannot just take your flux and say, oh, you have nothing now. So the plan is built to scale. Gods is built to scale. It's set up with long-term functionality that benefits everyone in the ecosystem, whether they be players, traders, collectors, you name it. Gods and Gods Unchained are intrinsically tied together. As with Gods Unchained, Gods is built to grow in power and utility. The more users it reaches, which is why it's living at the heart of the game. As Gods is a long-term commitment, these tokens aren't dropped all at once, but released over time to keep the ecosystem flowing. While the white paper is in the works, I wanted to take you through two of the largest pieces that make up the Gods allocation. So here is the two different allocations of the largest allocations of where the Gods tokens will be spent or how they will be allocated. First is play to earn pool. This is the biggest pool, obviously. So this is set to be the largest pool, as ultimately Gods Unchained players are the heart and soul of the game. These tokens largely make up our play to earn allocation, set aside for players to receive through gameplay, campaigns, and other gameplay habits. Now this is why I think the flux will become the Gods token, because it says make up our play to earn allocation, set aside for players to receive through gameplay, campaigns, and other gameplay habits. So right now, if you do the gameplay and if you win the game, you get flux. There is no campaigns yet, but I'm assuming gameplay campaigns are coming. But instead of flux, they will just give you the Gods token, and flux will be a thing of the past. That's how I think this is gonna happen. Now, there is a very good chance that they keep flux and they just add Gods token to it. So if you win a game or if you finish a campaign or whatever the activity is, you get flux in addition to Gods token, and flux still stays in play. But that just seems like too complicated and something they probably shouldn't be doing. I don't know. But again, my suspicion is the flux is going to convert to Gods tokens. Okay, so play to earn is the first part of it. That's where as you play the game, you can earn Gods token. Now, community and ecosystem fund. The community and ecosystem is basically referring others to or managing the community, participating in Discord, running and participating in tournaments, events, content creators, partners, and third-party developers. It sets us in good stead to reward those who work to expand and make Gods Unchained stronger. There's a lot of room to move here, especially considering the community is always growing and creating new ways to engage with Gods Unchained. So this is the second largest pool of tokens, and they're going to give these tokens to basically marketers to market their token and develop the ecosystem. So if a developer comes in and builds something on Gods Unchained or improves it, they will get rewarded with Gods token. Now, this is a good one. I liked this paragraph here. It says, you're probably thinking, doesn't Gods run out? Yes and no. God's token supply has a hard cap. So there is a hard cap to the token. That's good to know, which means there is a limited amount available. But as we go along gods will recycle into a pool not listed above, called the staking rewards pool. Now this is exciting. I'm always excited about staking. Whenever you can stake something, that means less people are selling. You look at my alpha videos or videos and audios that I have made. Uh, I have staked all my alpha and all my audios tokens because I don't want to touch them for a while, and a lot of people have them staked, so their prices don't dump like everything else does as frequently. Okay, so this isn't part of the initial allocation, rather a pool that grows organically. Play to earn actions like NFT fusing will see gods return to this pool and distributed out again. This pool is what gives gods long-term legs. Over time, more in-game and external actions will be introduced to ensure the ecosystem stays healthy and gods keep cycling. So basically, even though there is a hard cap, and you'd say, okay, you give so much play to earn people, and then you're giving so much to these marketers and content creators. So what if the token runs out? The reason this is why the token won't run out, because some people will be staking. Okay, and their rewards will come from the people who have the token and use the token. Right now, if you want to mint, and this is another reason why I think Flux will become the Gods token, because right now you need Flux to mint these NFT cards on Immutable X. But they're saying that you will play to earn actions like NFT fusing. So NFT fusing will be done with God's token. So instead of Flux, you're using God's token to fuse those cards on Immutable X. That's why I think Flux will become the God's token. But so going back to where we were, uh, so when somebody fuses NFTs, they're gonna pay this God's token, which will be the rewards for their staking pool. So those people that have staked, they will get some of the rewards, and the rest will go into circulation again. Portion of the fees will go to the, like on Uniswap, if you're providing liquidity, a portion of the trading fees, like they give you like 2% to 2.5%, something like that, or 0.3% on SushiSwap, I think, to the people who are providing liquidity. So it's gonna be something like that. If there is people who are fusing the NFTs, a percentage of that will be provided as rewards to the staking pool. Not all of it. Rest of it will go in circulation. Okay. Gods from the get-go. This is where they talk about the airdrop. So they're gonna do an airdrop of about 6% of the total supply to the people who have been supporting the platform since the beginning. Now, we are at this point not eligible for it, because if you look here, for this allocation, we took separate snapshots, 3 separate snapshots in total. And these are snapshots of people who held Trial of the Gods and Genesis cards before the snapshots were taken. So the snapshots were taken on June 21st, June 23rd, and June 23rd, Pacific Daylight Time. This means we added, okay, so initially they had a 3% allocation for the airdrop. Later on, people gave feedback and they added another 3%. So right now they're giving 6% of the total tokens to these airdrops. The total actually 7%, but it's 6% to these airdrops, and the remaining 1% is both a buffer and being reserved for a play-to-earn event that any Gods Unchained player can take part in, but more on this to come. So they have total of 7% to be given on this airdrop. We are ineligible for these airdrops anymore, the 6%, but the 1% we're still eligible for. And there will be an event or something they will announce later that if you do this activity on Gods Unchained, you will get some airdrop anyway. So we're not completely out, but we're not gonna get as much as these guys. Okay, so here is a excuse me. Here's a comparison of their airdrop versus what Uniswap did and 1inch did. If you want to go through that, you can look at that. I'm not interested in how it compares or stacks up. And next up is the public sale. This is gods becoming available to a wider audience. Here, users beyond the initial airdrop have the opportunity to purchase gods from the start. So basically, you can go to Uniswap and exchange your USDC for gods, or if an exchange picks it up, you can buy it on an exchange like Coinbase or Binance. Once gods is in the hands of users, governance, aka decision-making opportunities, and active staking, aka holding tokens and playing the game, leading to earning more tokens, will provide the main functionality, with NFT crafting being built out shortly after once the forge returns. These are currently being modeled and built in the white paper, but for now you can check out the Gods website for more here. We're going to go to the Gods website in a second. I just wanted to go through here. On that note, we're upping the overall token supply from 20 million to 500 million. When first I heard about it, I was kind of like, why? What the hell? But what they're basically doing is, the feedback here was that users would rather have 1,000 tokens as opposed to 0.03 of a token, even if they are worth the same price. And we tend to agree. It does feel good to get a whole lot of something. So basically, it's not going to affect the price necessarily. It's like a stock split. So there were, instead of 20 million tokens, let's say at $10 each, now they're going to have 500 million tokens at, what is that? 20, 20, 525. So 1/25th of 10 is, let's say they're going to have 20 million tokens at $25 each. Instead, they're going to have 500 million tokens at $1 each. That's it. All right, let's go to this God's website quickly and see what's going on. So in this website, they basically say, okay, 1.4 million public sale, 20 million total supply, community allocation of 12.3 million. The problem is this total supply is now not 20 million, it's 500 million. So they have not updated this page. What is Gods? The Gods Scaling Digital, we already went through this. Gods Unchained, a digital card game, and this talks about, players should own their game assets. So here's the thing. The game asset here is the cards, and you own them on the blockchain. So once you own a card, you own a card unless you give it away or you sell it. That's pretty cool. On other games that you don't get paid to play, and they're very fun though, you don't own the characters. You don't own anything. Here, once you get the card, you own it. And it's the same about with Axie Infinity or Illuvium. If you buy an Axie or buy an Illuvi or whatever they call it, you own it, and that's it. Or Zedrun, one of my favorites. You own the horses. And once you buy a horse, you own it. That's it. Unless you, again, give it away. And secure and scalable with Immutable X. This is where I have made videos on Immutable X, another one of my very, very favorite projects. I'm looking forward to their token coming out. The God's Credence. So again, we talked about staking. You will be able to stake. You will be able to use the God's token for NFT crafting. Again, this is why I think the Flux will become the Gods token. Governance, and Gods gives mortals power to, basically if you stake it, you can vote on different proposals like any other project. Now this is what is very exciting, and I love seeing things like that. They're partners, they're backers. Naspers, Galaxy Digital, that's Mike Novograt's fund, Coinbase Ventures. These are very respectable and very high quality venture capital funds. So when I see that they are backing a project, I automatically get bullish on that. So that's why I'm pretty bullish on God's token. Now, the final question here is, so do I think, as I teased at the beginning, do I think that Gods will be the next Axie Infinity? Honestly, there is no solid answer to that. Nobody knows. It may or may not. But I have not played Axie Infinity. It seems like fun, but it's a little more difficult to connect they have a run-in wallet. It's not very user-friendly or as user-friendly as Gods Unchained. So that's what Gods Unchained has on Axie Infinity. And the other thing Gods Unchained has on Axie Infinity is it's free to play. Axie Infinity, you cannot just go in and start playing. You have to buy the Axies, which cost a pretty penny. Right now, I think it's at $68 a piece. So you have to buy the Axies to play the game. Here, you can just start playing and earning. So I think that's. I was going to say that staking is another avenue where Gods Unchained will be, or God's Token will be better than Axie Infinity, but I think Axie is coming up with staking as well. They don't have it yet, but they will eventually. So that's my review of the upcoming Gods token, and I think it may compete with Axie Infinity. It has it has very good backers, and it does have, I think it will innovate over time. So for the long haul, I think maybe for the next year or two, because given that play to earn games are blowing up, keep an eye on this one, guys. All right. Okay, that's my video, and please go ahead if you like the content, smash the like button, and please subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Thank you very much. You have a good night.